User was moved to your channel.
Hello.
Good evening, Azan. Congratulations on the win. Tough game, tough game.
Well,
Laughter. Laughing in the face of your opponent's a bit disrespectful there, I think.
yeah, I'm afraid so. I'm sorry, but yeah, I did actually laugh in the match as well. Unfortunately, just because that bizarre first round where no one died.
Yeah, interesting.
Oh, that was a noteworthy highlight.
I don't know about highlight, but it was not, perhaps noteworthy. I mean, that was awful from IG, surely.
Yeah, I'm not sure really. They seem to react much better last time we played them, because we've used the 6 cav stuff against them before, if you remember, in the previous match, and they had some. I don't think it's as strong as 6 cav stuff, but they had some pretty nice responses to it. You know, the sort of camping places and sort of making it difficult for us.
Yeah, certainly for their approach last time, they did pretty. I think they did like 5-3 in the map they played on Ruins against you guys, or 3-5 or whatever they got.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of draws. I think.
Yeah, maybe it was 2-5 or something.
But,
2-4, I don't know. But yeah, you're right. It was a lot better last time. This time, I mean, yeah, like you said, the first round, appalling, and then a couple of rounds where they were just so slow getting to the flags. Really. Do you think it's a problem with the map, or do you think it was IG's approach? Or?
I think it's a bit of both, to be honest. I think they were going for a very defensive style, which is one way to try and deal with the 6 cav stuff, but unfortunately it means they're effectively gambling on that one flag. And it might have been a different situation if they had got the flag they'd wanted every time, but we kept getting the good ones in this case. So.
Yeah, there's a little bit of flag luck there as well, but I mean, you know, even when they got decent flags, they did get a couple of decent flags for their, you know, as good as they could have expected with the stance they were taking. They still didn't do much with it, did they? Really? Like,
I don't know really. I mean, I'm trying to think of which did they get? I don't think they got a flag.
There was a ruins. They were in the ruins. They got the sort of one behind the ruins at one point.
Yeah, that one doesn't really give them much. So I don't think it's the
well,
one
if that doesn't give them much, then what more could they possibly want? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Then if that doesn't give them much, then the tech's a waste of time anyway.
Yeah, I think it's in some ways just sort of they did a very old style strat. They did a very traditional way of doing it, and it's just not. You just on Field by the River especially, you're just not able to sort of keep up with all the cavalry that we're using now and other teams are using as well. So I think they were trying to stay alive for the round, hoping something would happen, but I think they could have done with mixing it up with more cavalry or just doing different class composition. I don't think infantry are much good anymore on open maps, when you can just have a guy who can effectively do the same thing as an infantry but ride a horse around. So.
Yeah, there's a point to that as well. I mean, they did attempt to take more cav at some point. They took like a 5 cav setup at once, but didn't really make much of a difference. They had some moderate success in the cav duels, and then it just fell apart.
Yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think with the mass cav stuff, it's not something you can switch to easily quickly. It's like we were much worse at it when we started doing all this stuff, and because we've been practicing it and doing it so much, it's become a lot more fluid. So
it begs the question, though. You know, where was their preparation for this match? Why didn't they think, well, let's give this a try ourselves? Why didn't they give that a try?
I'm afraid you're asking the wrong person there. But
it's a mistake, right? They've made a lot of mistakes here. I mean, I don't want to sort of force you into saying bad things about IG or whatever. Which makes it sound like exactly what I'm about to do is make you say bad things about IG.
I'm not saying I'm racist, but
yeah, exactly. But I mean, really, do you think? Because I think this, and it's obvious in the way I'm wording the question. IG need to change their approach a little bit. They're going to want to try and keep up with the competitive, you know, the top flight.
Yeah, I mean, I think this IG have always been a clan which is very solid in how they play, and they play around a very solid strategy of taking strategic positions around flags and then sitting on them until the flags, and that's basically their thing, and they've done it very well for a long time. And on some maps that'll still work, but I think the way things are going with the open maps now is you can't do that. Well, for instance, I just don't see how you can hold positions anymore like that, because you're just going to be surrounded, not able to move out, if you do try and sort of just keep that infantry and crossbows like they've been doing. And I think that you just need to. I haven't thought of a way to deal with the 6 cav stuff myself yet, which isn't just 6 cav.
Do you think that means there is no way to deal with it, or do you think that you just haven't thought of one yet?
It could mean that I just haven't thought of one yet, which is probably maybe that is the case. Maybe there's another way to go with it. But at the moment, I've been going over like every possible build and seeing how to defeat it, and I haven't found anything that would really give you much advantage over it. There's stuff like maybe taking 6 cav and 1 archer, 1 infantry instead, but it's like
Isn't it so hard to test though? Because I mean, it's AE doing the 6 cav tactic, so it's like you can't have another AE to test it against. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've seen what Koa and Nameless have been able to do against it as well. So I wouldn't discredit those teams at all. They're certainly top class teams. They're able to beat us as Nameless showed. You know, so I don't know. I just think that infantry is the main problem. You know, you can maybe get away with sort of like varying number of cav and archers, but infantry are so slow, and they just have no range on them. When you've got this massive open map, that if you can get to the point like we're doing now, where we just dominate the flags with the with the weakened cavalry, so just tell cavalry. Yeah, if you can just control the flags as we're doing, then what use are infantry? They're just slow and they can't do anything, and they just end up making you get split up and unable to fight in areas. So.
Do you think there's factions where it's not really viable to take those dragoons though, like where the cav stats are really bad?
Yeah, I mean it's not so much about the cav stats actually. It's the athletics actually don't come into it much because
no.
It makes it a little bit harder to dodge, but most of the time you've got the mobility anyway to get where you need to go because you've got the horse, and then generally you just stand about or just in a very close spot. There's not much really movement, so the real thing is the shields. So it's definitely a lot harder on Nords and Saranids to do it, just because the shields are very small and bad. So we're always desperately trying to go after any shields we can find on the ground to steal them for the subsequent rounds.
Okay.
But,
that's the main difference and the main problem.
Yeah, that's the main issue. But I mean, if you with enough sort of dancing around the flag, you can still make it very difficult to kill you, even with foot shots and stuff happening, even with the small shields. So.
And even without a shield, you can really make it pretty hard to hit yourself, like pretty hard to be hit.
Yeah, I mean, I think M was just sort of standing around with his polearm out most of the time on that flag, just not getting shot because there's not much chance to shoot him. I mean, you end up with a lot of horses around the flag as well, which also makes it very sort of difficult to hit anything on it or even attack it.
And there was also, I mean, in this game we had like, really, you still only have 2 archers with that, which is quite it's sort of the low kind of number for an open map. And I actually just kind of ran across that field. I pointed this out to them when they were like, crazy why to go and chat, whatever. Like they ran across a big open field with their shields up the whole way. That was just, you must have just thought this is just easy at that point, really.
Well, I mean, I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to just get the flags all the way up. But it was, I think. Well,
you'd always plan to sort of put someone on the flag and just like raise it as much as possible. You seem to be quite focused on that. Yeah.
Yeah. We definitely. One of the things we were doing wrong with the strat early on was we were avoiding the flag for fear of being shot on it. But we found now that if we stick someone on the flag straight away, we put so much pressure on the other team to do things that they don't have time to set up in a nice big crossfire or anything like that. They just have to sort of desperately run onto it, which obviously works to our favour.
Lures them into making mistakes.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think enough said about that game. No need to mention Fort of Honor really as well. It was just a matter of getting one round and it happened straight away, unsurprisingly. On to the finals. You've picked Field by the River now as well, knowing that you can't pick that against Kurwa. What was the thinking there?
Well, I mean, to be honest, I'd fancy the 6 cav stuff on any of the open maps, really, apart from... The only one that's a bit iffy is Frosty Battle, I think, just because of all those hills you can scurry about on.
But isn't that sort of your staple of doing the 6 cav? Would you not want to use that, especially against Kurwa?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Kurwa have a lot of very good cavalry and ranger players, so in training matches against them, we've done alright, and there's I can't remember every single one, but they've been able to hold their own at least to some degree. And
you got something else in mind for the map pick then for the final, or can you not reveal anything there?
I wouldn't want to reveal yet, just because I don't think we've actually chosen.
Okay, fair enough.
But I mean, if we were to choose another open map, because we feel we're strong on that, then we'd probably be going for something like Reverend Village or maybe Ruins.
Okay, fair enough. But not necessarily. Anything could happen.
Anything could happen. I'm not gonna say which one it is.
All right, fair enough. And I assume you're expecting a bit more of a challenge against the Kurwinese.
Yeah, I don't know. When is their match happening? I don't know if it's
right now. It's happening simultaneously. That's why we can only stream one of them.
Oh. And has that concluded, or?
It was 4-4 after Vendetta, apparently. But
Mm.
apparently, Kura was having like drops left, right, and center, and I don't know.
Mm.
We said we'd stream if we get a tweet in about it, but we didn't get one, so we just said, well, we'll forget it.
Okay. Well,
but Kura, I mean, what are you expecting from them? Are you expecting like a tough game? You think you can win still? Like,
I think we can win. Yeah, I'm solid. I'm sure we can win. We beat them previously, and I think we're stronger than we were when we beat them because we were sort of like recovering from being idiots after being defeated by Nameless. And Nameless was a fantastic game that game, but we were also playing a terrible game. So I think we've recovered more since then. So I think we're in a better position.
Presumably, you think you would place Kura above Nameless as well. Like you'd rather face Nameless, but probably not going to happen.
I'd like to face Nameless, yeah, for a rematch. But I don't know. I mean, Kura's been a little bit iffy. We've had some issues with training matches with them recently, just in terms of their getting players. So I don't know what's going on with them, but we'll see. I mean, certainly.
Perhaps more psychological than anything.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know what's going on, but I think previously, from what I thought, Kura had a stronger team, but things can change pretty quick in just like weeks or whatever in Warband, in terms of how people are engaging and how the team is working. So.
Alright, fair enough. I mean, it's looking like A kind of favourites to win the tournament now. Is it all a bit tedious, do you think, in this team right now? It's like everyone expected A to win, and they're just going to win. Is it lacking spice, do you think?
Possibly. I don't know. It's difficult to sort of from the inside to see what it's like on the outside.
Well, you guys would like a challenge too, right?
Yeah, we like a challenge. We sort of had we've had a challenge in this tournament. I think Kura's definitely presented a team that can sort of compete with and potentially beat us. And Nameless as well have beaten us and also could potentially beat us. I'd like to see other teams, to be honest, which are of that strength that we can have a fight against, really.
What about the upcoming promotees? Perhaps Irish Rebels or Wolfpack, expecting anything from them? Wolfpack improving at a pretty incredible rate. They seem to be a bit of a way off, but do you think they've got a chance of improving to the point where they could compete with the top teams as well?
Potentially. I think there's quite a big gulf.
They're still a way off.
Well, I think for now, yes. Just because I haven't seen them demonstrate the ability to beat any of the top teams that I know of, anyway. But there's I think to some degree, it's quite a big gulf between, say, the top 3 or 4 teams and the teams below that. And I think with Nameless, us, and Kura, I haven't seen any teams that are really up at that level yet. But Irish Rebels have just got some new sign-ups from some of the remains of Saracens, as I understand it.
Yeah.
So we'll see if that manages to get enough of their sort of quality players and
perhaps they
make
could be
a really
one of
good
those
team.
top teams. Okay, fair enough. Right, what are you doing, dude?
I think he's banging his mic.
You okay, man? What are you banging?
No, that's my chair. I just leaned back in my chair. It's squeaking.
Oh, okay, that's awful. So any other thoughts on the tournament overall, or the finals?
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm looking forward to the finals, so whichever team we end up playing against. I've enjoyed the tournament quite a lot, actually. It's been really nice. It's been nice partly because of obviously the division system has managed to keep things split up a bit. But I have to say, I'm not so keen on this picking system that we've been doing for the knockout stage.
For the maps?
Yeah, I'm not so keen on the whole picking element. I think it just sort of complicates needlessly when.
Prefer just like predetermined stuff?
Yeah, you know what's happening further ahead as well. So.
Don't you think it's like, well, you've only got sort of one game? It's with the league, it's aggregated over multiple games, but when you just have like a sort of a knockout stage, the randomization of the map can mean so much to sort of different teams. Some teams like some maps, some teams like other maps. But to have that all as a random thing seems perhaps a bit unfair, maybe? I don't know.
I wouldn't say it's unfair at all. I mean, if you're entering a tournament and it's got a map pool, you wouldn't expect to win it unless you can win on all the maps. It's a bit of.
Well, no. I mean, let's say theoretically there could be a situation where you had 2 teams, and they were so close that one team won on half the maps most of the time, the other team won on the other half most of the time. That's possible, surely.
It's possible, but I think.
So in that case, surely a random situation is unfair on one team.
I don't see how it's unfair. Each team has an equal chance of having the maps come up. I mean, if you're playing in the tournament, you can't.
But it's an equal chance, but it's still random, though.
It is, but I think you can't. If a map is in the tournament, you should be expecting to play on that map. So that's
Say if
something
there
you
was,
have to deal with.
say if theoretically you had, okay, it's not really bothering you, but whatever. Say theoretically you had one team which would more than 50% beat one team on one map, but lose more than 50% of the time on all the other maps to another team. Theoretically, that's possible, right?
It is possible, yes.
And then this one team gets that map randomly in the knockout stages. That's then a bit unfair, maybe.
Possibly, but I think that's looking at it in too simplistic a viewpoint because teams don't stay bad at maps. If a team is losing on a map, they'll tend to focus on it and do better on it and change things up. And so, trying to predict and say there's like one map that they're much worse on is not something that's going to be.
But at this point, you're not trying to
tournament.
predict it. You're just saying, well, we'll let the teams pick and remove the random element.
Well, I think if you remove the random element, surely the way it's been done right now means that you're going to have a map which is favourable to each team, resulting in more draws. Whereas a random one has more chance of having maps which are neutral for teams.
I don't know if I agree with that. Anyway, this is a discussion for a different time. But no, that's fair enough.
Theory crafting.
Azan, big theory crafter in the scene. We could talk to the guy all day. It's always a pleasure. But congratulations on the win once again. Anyway, very best of luck in the finals now of the whole thing. It's been a good few months now. Coming towards the end. You got a bit excited, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
You sent your guys to freaky t-shirts already? You feeling that confident?
Could do, yeah.
But not quite yet. Okay, you got any shout outs just to make, as we're wrapping things up?
Yes, shout out to Cleric. He's got a big swollen hand at the moment, so he can't play.
Guy.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Will that disqualify him from t-shirts?
I don't think so. But
only 14 to go round. Hey, you got a pretty big roster these days.
Yeah, I think we'll probably end up buying everyone else an extra t-shirt anyway.
Oh, look at that, super cute.
So Freaky's advertising going to good use.
Will they be available? The tournament winner t-shirts as a sort of special edition, or what's
What do you mean? Sorry.
Will we be able to buy these tournament winner edition t-shirts as well for ourselves, or will there be some sort of fan version we can buy? Do you know about that?
I have absolutely no idea. If you want to talk about t-shirts, you speak to M and Cleric Johnson. They've got a whole plan related to t-shirts.
Okay, well, certainly we'll have to do that at some point. Just get one of them on Horse and Sword. Any case, thanks very much for coming to speak to us. Congratulations for a third time on the win, and yeah, good evening.
All right, thank you very much.
Everyone for watching as well. No, pleasure.
See you.
Take care. Alrighty, man, let's wrap it up.
It's almost harvesting season.
Hello.
Yeah, Azan is such a pleasure as always.
Wrapped it up. Yeah, the man is intelligent. Infantry, buff infantry.
Yeah, maybe, I don't know, or just
Make better
I
maps.
think yeah, I think it'll work itself out. I think Phil by the River has had its day now.
It's gonna be retired to stop the 6 cab.
Yeah, well, I don't think it's possible on other maps. It probably is as well. But I still think the map is just stupid. It ain't fun, is it? Ain't fun, ain't nobody. Can they still hear us? What's going on? They can still hear us, dude.
Oh, wait. Why didn't I stop?